Frank, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, bro. Thank you for having me here.
Dude, who's Frank? Introduce yourself.
All right, Frank, I came from the Philippines, and currently I'm operating garments business. Garments manufacturing. I manufacture for other brands, small, medium, and large enterprises. And meron din ako sariling brands. And I also work with celebrities in the Philippines. I handle their clothing brands. So basically, that's what I do.
And what are you doing in Melbourne, in Australia?
All right, so currently here in Australia, I'm setting up a store in Adelaide. So under construction siya right now. Dadaling ko yung brand from the Philippines na MN Plus LA, Manila meets Los Angeles, papunta sa Adelaide. Then I'm building another brand as well na it will be born here in Australia. It's called Sage Hill.
Bakit? What's the motivation?
Actually, gusto ko talaga mag-expand internationally, right? So like, syempre gusto ng businessman na maka-take over ng mundo, malabas mo yung products mo all over the world, right? Then meron akong opportunity dito kasi may family na based in Adelaide. So siya yung magiging contact person ko sa Australia. So, family trust naman. So, cousin siya ng wife ko. So, he will be handling the business dito sa Adelaide. So, I can go back to the Philippines and handle it from there. And just go back, visit.
So you have a very successful business in the Philippines, which is yung MN plus LA. And then you want to branch out to Australia, Adelaide. Bakit Australia?
Australia kasi I've been here twice. It's my third time here. Tapos nakita ko na I like the people first. Gusto ko i-serve yung community ng Australians. I've been sa iba-ibang continents and I find Australians to be very balanced. I think balanced sila ng personality na parang gitna sila ng Americans and Europeans. So I find it parang gusto ko nung ganun. I connect with the people here. So unang beses na pumunta ako dito, I went to Adelaide. I was like, bakit wala nakakaalam ng city na to? Like, who goes to Adelaide? Di ba, hindi mo narinig yun di ba, na Pilipino. Gusto mo ba pumunta ng Australia? Pero saan dun? Nobody says Adelaide. So always Sydney, di ba, or Melbourne, and that's it. So nung nakita ko yung Adelaide, I was like, bakit hindi alam to ng mga tao? Airport pa lang ang ganda na. Tapos pag dating ko ng city center, nagustuhan ko rin siya kasi it's a small city. So parang very concentrated dun sa CBD area nila. So I was like, una punta pa lang, sabi ko gusto ko magtayo ng store dito. Like I want to serve the people here. Tapos nakikita rin ako ng opportunity kasi hindi ganun karami yung brands na galing sa iba-ibang bansa ang nagtatayo sa Australia. Especially in Adelaide. So I saw an opportunity. Tapos I waited maybe like 3, 4, 5 years. Then an opportunity came up when I had enough capital para mag-expand sa Australia. Nagpahanap agad ako ng space. So I had like 3 options. Then yung isa, super good deal talaga siya. So I got that space. Tapos, share ko lang yung nangyari. After getting the space, a few months doing construction ng space, right? Nagtayo yung Louis Vuitton like 250 meters away dun sa space. So I was like, oh, it's a really good spot, right? So yung zonal value ng mga rent doon malamang tumaas. Tapos marami ring magtatayo na luxury brands doon sa area. So Adelaide government is spending 120 million AUD para i-develop yung luxury area doon. Then a few steps away, you have H&M, you have Uniqlo, you have Adidas, Nike. So it's a very good spot na walang kumukuha for the past 2 years, I think. Dahil nung pandemic, nag-close down yung spot na yun. So, yun. I was just lucky to find a great deal na I can't pass up on. So, it will be a shop, warehouse, at saka office, studio na rin siya. So, all in one.
Paano ka nagsimula magnegosyo?
Alright, first, if you talk about the garments industry na business, paano ako nagsimula doon? Una, reselling. So, I learned from my father doing buy and sell. Tapos natuto ako sa mother ko na mag-buy and sell ng damit. So, first na nire-resell ko is clothes from Thailand. So, nung pag-18 ko, hindi mo na kailangan ng parental consent. I flew with my girl papuntang Thailand. Kuha kami ng mga damit. Tapos binenta namin sa school. So, I got sold out pretty fast. Then I was like, oh, it's a good business. Tapos, passion ko na rin talaga damit-damit, gumawa ng damit. Yung mga action figure ko nung bata ko, ginagawa ko ng damit, ganyan. So then, after namin mag-resell, I was like, pwede tayong magpatahi. So nag-dive in ako sa manufacturing. Then unti-unti, nagtayo na ako ng sariling manufacturing. So first, subcon lang muna, nagpapagawa ako. Tapos, gumawa na ako ng sariling tahian. Nag-accept kami ng tahi from other brands, small, medium, and large. Then, pumunta ako ng States to gather more capital kasi gusto ko na talaga yung business but I didn't have enough capital. So I had to go to the States. Siguro mga 9 months is spent going there then Philippines para to earn money. Then binuhos ko lahat dun sa tahiyan. Then nung nasa States ako, people were always complimenting on what I'm wearing. So sabi nila, hey, where'd you get that from? 5 minutes into LA, may lumapit na sa akin dalawang guys. They were like, hey, I like your hoodie. Where's that? Where'd you get that from? Sabi ko, I made it. Oh, so you're a designer. Hindi pa pumapasok sa isip ko na designer ako nun eh. But they were always saying na, oh, so you're a designer. Pag sinabi ko, I made it, I was like, hindi, manufacturer lang naman ako eh. Pero ako rin nga naman yung nag-design nun, right? So it was like, you're a designer. Ganun. Sabi nung naging kaibigan ko dun, why don't you just go back to the Philippines and build your own brand? So that's what I did. So pagbalik ko ng Pilipinas, I set up the brand 2015 February. First launch ko, sinet up ng mga taga CSB sa SMX. There was this event. Tapos doon ako nag-launch. Then I sold like 80-85% of the inventory. I was like, okay, good. Then from there, tinuloy-tuloy ko na siya.
What's the current valuation ng business mo ng MN plus LA?
Numbers, hindi ko sure pa yung valuation.
Rough. In your head, currently?
Basta 9 digits, bro.
9
digits. 9 digits.
What's 9 digits? Hanggang 6 lang ako.
Kasi AUD, hindi. Speaking of peso to, peso.
And Frank, how was your childhood like?
Ako, I would say I had a perfect childhood, brother.
You had a perfect childhood?
Yeah. Masasabi ko talaga na everything that happened during my childhood contributes to who I am right now. So, I'm very lucky to have great parents and a great little bro, and then akong brother. Nakasama ko rin sa business. So, I would say my mom, ang training niya pang lalaki. You know what? I think it's one of the hardest things mothers do, na babae siya, pero kailangan niyang palakihin yung anak niyang lalaki in a way na pang lalaki. So, kailangan ng mother, I think, na i-hold back yung emotions niya. Kailangan niyang, parang military training, kumbaga. And I think it's very hard for mothers to do that kasi pipigilan nila yung emotional side nila. So, yung mom ko was like that. And my father is a very supportive father. Tapos, mentor din talaga namin siya. When it comes to business, health, relationships, like all the departments, tinuturuan niya kami mabuti. So I had a really good mentor. Tapos, inaalaga kami mabuti ng mom ko. So, I think I can say na perfect childhood talaga. Perfect
in terms of, yung finances, did you come from a well-off family?
No.
Middle class?
Middle class. I'd say, let's say, nagbabakasyon kami ng Baguio, bakasyon ng Hong Kong. But, ayun, ganun lang. Like, sila kasi hindi sila magbibigay sa'yo ng luho parents ko. Lahat ng needs ko, sakop na nila. Pero kung may wants ako, they're like, gumawa ka diskarte. You know? So, bigyan niya ako ng kotse. Pero, ikaw bahala sa maintenance, ikaw bahala sa gas. Tapos, hindi brand new na kotse. You know? So, parang binabalanse nila na lahat ng needs mo, ibibigay namin. Pero yung wants mo, gawa mo ng paraan. Parang china-challenge na, gawa mo ng paraan yan. So, dad ko kasi naniniwala siya na pag ang bata, medyo spoiled, needs niya met, masasanay siya ng ganong lifestyle. So, tipong maayos yung food namin, naka-aircon yung kwarto, maayos yung kama, meron ka maayos na phone, laptop. Tapos, masasanay ka ng ganong lifestyle. That's what he believes in. Ngayon, after graduation, zero na, wala na. Basta, pagka-graduate mo, bahala ka na, wala ka na makukuha sa amin. So, nasanay ako ng ganong lifestyle. Ngayon, kailangan ko mag-provide sa sarili ko ng ganong lifestyle or something better. So, that's how I learned na, after pala nito, wala na. Kaya before ako mag-graduate, gumawa na ako ng paraan kasi gets ko na na ika-cut off na nila lahat ng finances So, right after graduation, I had a working business already.
What was the biggest challenge nung nagsisimula ka palang magnegosyo?
Biggest challenge for me yung failed product development. So, nagpagawa ako ng tela, then mali yung timpla ko kasi gusto ko kakaiba yung akin. So, nagpatimpla ako ng sarili. Sinunod lang naman ng manufacturer pero mali. So I sacrificed for almost a year kasi kailangan malaki yung order quantity ng tela, right? So first time ko nagpagawa ng tela, mali. So I needed to work for a year pa on the business din naman para mabawi ko yung kinapital ko dun.
Pagkakamali mo or ng manufacturing?
Pagkakamali ko. Sinunod lang yung sinabi kong temple, pero mali. So yun. I suffered for a year.
And how the learning that you learned from that, how did that affect the journey?
Naging mas maingat ako every decision. Kasi laki nun nawala eh.
Magkano yun?
Una nun parang 300,000.
Yung nawala sa'yo for the one mistake.
Yeah. That's all I had back then.
And that time, anong year yun?
I'd say 20, I'm not sure, but 2016 or 17, parang gano'n.
What is the biggest common misconception sa pagpapatakbo ng negosyo?
Biggest common misconception is yung yayaman ka agad. So marami kasing parang nag-glorify yung mga businessman na pag nag-business mayaman yan. Pag businessman mayaman yan. And dami ko nga kilala na employee or self-employed mas mayaman pa sa businessman. Right? So it's all like the same. Kung gusto mong yumaman, doesn't matter kung self-employed, employed, businessman o investor ka. Meron ngang mga employed na billion yung salary nila eh. So pwede mo bang sabihin hindi sila mayaman? You know? So I believe na kung ano man piliin mong path, pwede kayo yumaman dyan. Hindi kailangan business lang. So I think that's the biggest misconception na maraming levels to it eh. Businessman eh, merong mababa, may middle, may mataas. So hindi porke nag-business ka, nandun ka na agad sa taas. No, I don't think it's that way. So
ano naman yung biggest sacrifices you did for your business?
health. I'd say health. It's the biggest mistake, I guess, na nagawa ko sa buhay ko is to sacrifice my health na pwede naman palang pagsabayin. So, my father told me na i-balance ko, may triangle. So, time, health, and money. So, kung pwede mo namang balansein, umpisa pa lang. It just takes what? An hour to work out. Tapos palitan mo lang lahat ng kinakain mo ng mas healthy. That's it eh. Hindi ko naisip nung nagsisimula ako. I was like, pera muna. Tapos, tsaka ako naintinding lahat to. So, nag-sacrifice ako sa health na kumuha na lang ako ng pa-doktor ako, nagpa-nutritionist ako, nung kumita-kita na ako para at least mabawi ko yung na-sacrifice kong health.
I agree. Kasi nung dumating ako dito sa Australia as an international student, sa isip ko, trabaho lang eh. Like, why sleep? Sleep is for the weak.
Right.
Diba? Yung mga nababasa na,
Totoo.
sleep is for the weak.
Totoo.
Sabi ko, nga no. Kasi then you see motivational speakers. If you sleep, 7 hours, like, you're not gonna be successful. You should be sleeping you only need 3-4 hours,
Correct.
5 hours. So ako, trabaho. And then, you'll get to a point na yung magpaparamdam na yung katawan mo eh. Like mentally, kaya ko pa, pero yung katawan mo, wait lang. Chong, kailangan ko ng pahinga. And then, sabi sa akin ng parents ko and other mentors na, imagine you have all the money in the world, pero bedridden ka naman. Diba?
Right. So what happened na bakit may turning point ka when it comes to health? Like, did you have any sickness or nag-decrease lang talaga yung performance mo?
Kasi laging puyat eh. Sabi ko sa sarili ko, nocturnal ako. Kasi nung college, I would, pasok ka ng 8 a.m. Uwi ako gabi na kasi yung class ko hanggang 9 p.m. eh. Nakuwi ako mga 11 and then work on my thesis. Tapos, tulog ako mga 3-4 a.m. 2 hours, 3 hours. Pagising ko, Cobra Energy or Sting. Tapos,
Sugar rush.
Diba? Punta sa kay LRT, Taft, pasok ulit. And at that point, parang you're romanticizing you being puyat.
Right.
Chong puyat ako eh, working on my thesis. Right. Working on my, on my animation, photography. You feel that pag puyat ako, that means I'm productive.
Correct.
And then I learned it the hard way na nung laging ganun, lagi akong puyat 2-3 hours, bumaba yung performance. There's no amount of energy drink, coffee will sustain.
Right.
Diba? And then I switched my yung routine ko, diet. I started eating healthy.
Nasa Pinas ka pa
protein. Dito na.
Dito na.
Protein, ganyan. Tapos, hindi ako mahilig sa gulay, greens. Pero I tried. Sabi ko, I need to enjoy this.
Right.
Otherwise, yung body ko yung magsasuffer. So, gym, Sobrang payat ko nung college, ganyan. So, ayun. The point is, how will you enjoy the fruits of your labor?
Correct.
Diba?
People
You can't
mistake
help.
movement for progress eh. Diba? Yung the more na may ginagawa sila physically or mentally, tingin nila progress na agad yun. So, I think sabi sa akin ng father ko nun na kung magbe-business ka, iho, dapat gumagaan yung buhay mo. Anong sense na nagbe-business ka? Kung pahirap naman yung buhay mo, dumagdag lang yung pera mo pero wala kang time sa family mo, wala kang time sa health mo, wala kang time sa sarili mo. So, wala. Naging slave ka lang din ulit, di ba? Better pa na huwag ka na mag-business.
Isip mo minsan, as ito I'm sure as a businessman, ako din, as a businessman entrepreneur, you'll see someone on the street working at a cafe. May isip mo, sana yung buhay ko ganyan kasimple. Na papasok ako, I'll be a barista, I'll finish at 5, I'll go home, cook dinner, watch Netflix.
Correct.
I don't have to think about work.
Right.
Kasi, empleyado ka eh. Sometimes, sabi ko, sana pwede kong balikan yung buhay na. O pwede naman.
Oh, yeah.
But you'll see na being a businessman, it's not kung before 9 to 5 ka. Ito, I always tell this na, yung businessman, owner ng company. Sabi ko, you're an employee sa mga friends. So you're an employee, you work 9 to 5. You have 9 to 5. As a businessman, my time is when I have my eyes open and when my eyes closed.
Correct.
Between those hours, I'm just working.
Right.
If I'm not working, I'm thinking about how I'm going to make this business work.
Correct.
And yung pressure nun and yung anxiety.
Right. Very good insight kasi iniisip ko rin yung dati na, parang mas madali pa yung buhay ko na employee. Wala akong iniisip. Pag clock out ko, wala ka nang iisipin, di ba? Hindi ka tulad pag businessman ka, 24/7 gumagalaw utak mo eh, di ba? Patulog ka, yun yung iniisip mo. Pagkagising mo, yun agad yung iniisip mo. So,
Yun eh.
it is what it is.
Paano mo sinusukat yung success sa buhay mo?
Finding my purpose yun muna. So once nahanap ko na yung purpose ko and I'm living my purpose, I think that's success. Enough na yun para sa akin na matawag siyang success. Kasi not all people find their purpose eh. Meron ngang iba na matay na, hindi pa rin nila alam kung ano yung purpose talaga nila sa mundong to. So once you find that purpose and work on it, live it, I think success na yun. That's enough success for me.
On the business side of things, how do you measure success?
Pag may na-solve akong problema ng mga tao. So the bigger the problem I solve, the more successful yung tingin ko sa business. Kasi I believe na building a business is the same as building a community. Diba? Kahit gaano kaganda yung business model mo, product mo, or service mo, kung wala kang community or clients, walang buhay yung business mo eh. Right? So kung masosolve ko, matutulungan ko yung mga tao na masolve yung mga problema nila. So the bigger the problem, actually hindi the bigger, the more na taong dumadaan dun sa problem na yun at masolve mo, kahit small problem lang siya, pero maraming nakaka-experience, I think that's success for a business.
If you can keep only 3 skills to have as a business owner, ano ito? Bakit?
Like first is communication. I think communication is the key of the nation, right? So under communication, nandyan na ang leadership, nandyan na rin yung communication, hindi lang naman yan one way na ikaw yung nagtuturo or nagsasalita, right? Pati yung input papunta sa'yo. Hindi lang output, pati input. Kasama na rin dyan yung listening, right? So pag nagsa-start ka, mas mahalaga nga makinig kaysa ikaw yung magsalita eh, right? So first of all talaga para sa akin, napakahalaga ng communication. Okay? Next is management. Management ng tao, management, una pala sarili mo. Management ng sarili mo. Once you learn how to manage yourself, it will be easier, a lot easier to manage other people. Kasi once maintindihan mo yung sarili mo, maiintindihan mo na rin yung ibang tao. Plus management din ng finance. Kasi I believe na it's not all about saving and keeping money. It's all about the spending. It's the spending na nagkakamali yung mga tao, kaya nga nagkakamali yung savings nila or yung cash flow nila, right? So, management ng tao, management ng sarili mo, management ng business, management ng finances, management ng time. So, yun, management yung pangalawa na sa tingin kong very important. Then, third is yung creativity. So, thinking outside the box. Kasi once you're always in that creative mode, sa tingin ko yung problema nagiging ano lang siya, challenge. parang tingin ko sa kanya laro na mas mahirap yung problema, mas magandang isolve yan. Kasi hindi lahat ng tao kaya yan. Parang nandun ako sa level na boss level or bonus level na mas mahirap yung kalaban. Right? So pag nandun ako sa creativity mode na yun, parang mas madali i-manage yung mga bagay-bagay. Hindi ka ganun kaseryoso, you know? So tapos creative ka mag-spend. Hindi mo kailangan ng sobrang laking pera para mag-enjoy sa mundong to eh. You know? Mag-spend ka creatively. Diba? So for example, meron kang budget na 1,000 pesos. Anong pipiliin mo? Like, kumain ka sa fancy restaurant or like, bilhin mo ng ganyan kung anong bagay or let's say, ipamasahe mo, mag-travel ka papuntang Tagaytay, magsama ka ng 2 kaibigan, kain kayo sa Jollibee or something. Diba? Parang mas masaya yun eh. Diba? Pero pareho lang ng spending na gagawin mo. So I believe na mahalaga yung creativity. That's a third skill na kailangan mo when it comes to building a business.
If I can add a fourth one, in connection siya dun sa communication. It took me years to learn this. Na you can communicate. You can be the best communicator. You can communicate as much as you want. But if the other person cannot comprehend,
right,
walang kwenta yung pagiging a good communicator mo.
Correct.
So comprehension, yes, you were able to communicate. Naintindihan niya ba the way you want them to understand what you're saying?
Right. Is it effective communication?
Yeah.
Right.
So communication and comprehension.
Nice.
Parehong mahalaga, pero mas mahalaga yung comprehension eh.
Right.
Na-communicate mo, naintindihan niya ba the way you want them to understand?
Right.
Kasi I can tell you na I can communicate with you, pero was I successful ba? Naintindihan mo ba yung sinasabi ko the way I want you to understand it?
Right.
Kasi you can understand it on your own way.
Oh, depende
yan. Diba? On how you upbringing.
Correct.
Diba? I can tell you na, diba? You can make 1 million for you. How will you make 1 million? Is it through selling drugs? Or doing the right things?
Right.
Being a business person?
Right. And
So,
vice versa rin, I think, comprehension din sa sarili mo. Hindi pwedeng nakikinig ka lang sa parang communication mo, nakikinig ka lang na nakikinig, pero di mo pala naiintindihan, right? So,
tama. Ayun.
yeah. Very good, very good. Nice.
How much money is enough for you?
I'd say 5 billion pesos.
Billion.
5 billion pesos.
Is it like cash you have in the bank?
Yeah.
Liquid. Yeah.
Meron
And how
akong-
did you come up with this?
Well, may mentor ako na nagsabi na you need at least 3.6 billion pesos para mabuhay sa kahit anong bansa na gusto mo. And have a rich life na meron kang time freedom and financial freedom. And I think palaki ng palaki yung 3.6 billion na yun every year dahil may inflation. So I'd want to be safe at 5 billion pesos. Yung mentor ko na yun, he owns like 54 supercars, a jet. So I believe na, alam niya talaga. Sabi niya, pagdating mo ng actually a billion pesos, lahat ng kayang bilhin ng mga ultra-rich, kaya mo na ring bilhin. Except kung gusto mo ng yate or maraming jets. Except yun, which you don't really need, di ba? So, kung necessities and experience in life, 1 billion pesos is enough. Pero para sa akin, pag gumastos ako ng piso, hindi na ako bilyonaryo, tama? So, doon na tayo sa safe. 5 billion mo na.
Gaano ka importante to have a mentor?
Very, very important. Sobrang laking shortcut ng pagkakaroon ng mentor. So, for example, yung mentor ko may 20 years of experience sa business. 20 years of experience yung matututunan ko in a single session. Di ba? Pwedeng, let's say, a week na magkape kami. Pero that's still 20 years of experience. I think ang best teacher daw, di ba, experience. Pero para sa akin, ang best teacher talaga, experience ng iba. Kasi pwedeng madapa ako, mahulog ako sa manhole. Pero kung nakita ko yung mentor ko, nahulog na sa manhole, sinabi niyo, huwag ka na dumaan dyan. Shortcut na yun. Hindi ko na kailangan mahulog dun sa manhole na yun. Right? So, very, very important.
Wow.
When it comes to health, business, finances, I always find a mentor. Sabi sa akin ng father ko, who do you listen to? Bago ako makinig, ay background check. Who do you listen to? Very important. Meron ba siyang credentials? Meron ba siya ng life na gusto mo? Dun sa department na tinuturo niya. So, very, very important. Like ikaw bro, may mentor ka ba like here in Australia?
I have mentors in different aspects. Siyempre, real estate, I have Ninong A.
Okay.
In social media, I have another mentor then. In my spiritual life, I have mentor. Relationship, may mentor ko dyan, FC, mga friends ko na, married with kids.
Right.
So,
You
I
have
have,
experience.
different mentors. Depende dun sa,
Sa
dun
department.
sa department. Diba?
So how did it help you sa tingin mo?
Like I said, shortcut. Diba? Shortcut. And
Right.
then, kasi they've done it eh.
Correct.
And there's a formula. There's always a formula in what you want to achieve in life. You just need to find that person
Correct.
who's,
Napansin mo yung formula parang paulit-ulit.
yeah.
May overlap no? Alam mo, actually, gumawa ako ng website. It's called Formula 100. Sinasabi formula,
Yeah.
right? So, I made a website, Formula 100. I have 35 lessons there na i-share ko kung paano ko na-build yung business ko talaga. Kasi napansin ko, I do consultation and consultation calls. Napansin ko yung mga tanong ng tao, iisa lang eh. So, nag-quantify ako up to, let's say, 5 million pesos a month. Iisa lang yung mga kailangan mo talagang gawin eh. Yung values na kailangan mo, yung business ethics, parang iisa lang eh. Paulit-ulit talaga out of like hundreds of consultations, paulit-ulit lang sila ng tanong. So I was like, okay, build na natin itong website na to para mas marami akong matulungan, hindi ko na kailangan mag-isa-isang tawag. Right? So, ayun. When it comes to making money, bro, for sure, dahil mong nagawang shortcut kasi hindi na normal kinikita mo for regular Filipino, right? Kahit sa Australia, right? Hindi na regular yung kinikita mo eh. And I think, malaking factor dun yung pagkakaroon mo ng mentor.
Yeah. The funny thing is, ito another question for you. How do you deal with your bashers and haters? Kasi you're very successful. And how old are you again?
31.
31. I'm 30, you're 31. And what you achieved currently in life, people took so many years to
Correct.
be where you are.
Right.
How do you deal with your haters and bashers?
Well, I'm still grateful for them kasi they engage eh. May nagsabi sa akin yung friend ko si Koy Koy, sobrang dami niya talagang haters. Lalo sa comment section, 90% hate. Sabi niya, those are your biggest fans. Imagine, mauuna pa silang mag-comment kesa dun sa positive fans mo. So, grabe silang magtutok. So, para sa akin, I think, para lang silang stressed out na nanay na may makitang gagawin ka tas hindi naman talaga mali pero sasabihan ka kasi stressed out siya. So, sa tingin ko, ginagawa lang nila tayong outlet dahil stressed out sila or currently, you're living the life they want to live. So, para ma-feel nila na on that specific moment na mas magaling sila sa'yo, mag-hate na lang sila. So, for me, positive pa rin yan eh. And I learned to take in energy, whether positive or negative. Energy pa rin yan eh. I convert it na lang na magkikreate ako using that energy, whether positive yan or negative.
Wow. Naalala ko yung suit ni Black Panther. Diba? When he get attacked,
Lumalak
yung energy na yun, he can use it to to explode eh. He can use it to counter punch.
Sabi sa akin ng kaibigan ko si Koy Koy, nung bata daw siya, sa classroom nila, parang lahat nagalit sa kanya. I don't know why, kung ano yung dahilan eh. Pero sabi niya, iniisip na lang daw niya may superpower siya na pag may nang aaway sa kanya, lalo siyang lumalakas. So I take that in, superpower ko rin yun. The more, diba, parang gano'n, diba? The more na mag-bash kayo, the more na magsabi kayo ng negative, lalo kong,
the more you motivate.
lalo kong gagalingan. Resibo rin yan eh, na you want to prove them wrong.
Yeah. So I think yung haters, yun nga, tama ka. Either you're living the life that they want to live, but they were too lazy to put in the work. And then another thing is, you're successful, tapos they hate you. They say na imposible yan. Because they're trying to invalidate
Your success.
yung success eh.
Right.
Kasi nga hindi nila magawa.
Correct.
So sabihin nila imposible,
Right.
hindi mo kaya yan. Kasi hindi nila magawa.
Correct.
Now you're helping them, you're showing them how you did it.
Right.
But still they will hate you.
Right.
Kasi, they just don't want to put in the work.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to talk eh. Mahirap mag-walk your talk eh. Right? So, mas madaling mang-bash, mga hatak pababa. Mas madali yun. It's the easy way out para malabas mo yung feeling mo.
Sa isip ko, yung mga haters, bashers, if you convert that energy, the time you spent commenting on my content, hate me,
Right.
if you use that energy to build a business,
Oh, yeah.
to think about, find a mentor, do something
Right.
positive, yung successful mo na. Every day
yeah.
nagko-comment ka, you spend, what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes
Right.
doing a negative comment.
Dinadagdagan lang nila yung success mo eh. Kasi lalo ka na napupush sa algorithm. Hindi naman na-detect ng social media kung negative yung sinasabi mo o positive dun eh, di ba? So dagdag lang sila sa engagement mo, sa comments mo, dagdag sila sa success mo basically. Part talaga sila, trabaho nila yan. Trabaho nila mag-hate, walang hari or profit na walang haters eh. Part talaga yan. Part sila pa ngayon mas mabilis magpapakalat sa'yo eh. Diba, isi-share ka nila pero may hate na caption. O ngayon may makakapanood nun. Hindi naman lahat mag-a-agree sa hate niya. Minsan makikita nila yung tama dun sa ginagawa mo. So converted tuloy sila ngayon as your fan or viewer mo. Diba? So I think naghahanap lang din sila ng imperfections eh. But kasi it seems na perfect tayo sa social media kasi 'di ba sinishare natin puro positivity, the wins,
Yeah.
right? So naghahanap sila ng butas. Hindi nila maintindihan. Wala naman taong perfect eh. 'Di ba? Kahit yung richest man in the world mag-dig deep ka, makikita ang imperfection diyan. So hindi na mahalaga yung kung ano yung mga minimal na imperfections niya. Ang tignan mo na lang ano yung sinishare niya sa mundo. 'Di ba? Ano yung positivity, positive energy na nabibigay niya sa mundo. There's so much negativity in this world. Nakakita ko ng topic about toxic positivity. Pero sa tingin ko, there's so much negative in this world na it's toxic kung wala kang positive energy.
Yeah.
Right? So, ako, para matanggal yung toxic positivity na yun, na puro positive ka lang, mali din naman yun, I add being a realist. So, bukod sa optimist ako, realist din ako. So, I'll always look at the brighter side. Pero syempre, may contingency plan ako kasi alam ko ang realidad na wala namang fail-proof na plano eh. Right? So, be an optimist and a realist at the same time. Forget about being a pessimist.
Natawa ako, bro, kasi obviously I also cast some shadows. Kasi nga, I saw this video on Instagram. Sabi niya, the more you shine, the more shadows you cast.
Oh.
And then, obviously, I see my, as I progress, as I become more known,
Correct.
I have a voice,
Right.
the more you see yung shadow.
Criticisms.
And then, nakakatawa kasi, you see someone successful, and you're trying to figure out paano sila naging successful, and they don't share. And then you hate them.
Right.
You see someone successful, they're trying to show you how they did it. Ibabash mo. Kasi they're showing you the steps na overwhelmed ka.
Right.
Shit, di ko kaya to.
Right.
The steps, the journey that he's been through to be successful. Sinashare niya, hinate mo pa din kasi you didn't want the process.
Correct.
So, anong gusto mo? Diba? Someone successful, you idolize, they don't share you anything. You hate them. Someone that's successful, they share you how they did it. You hate them kasi you don't agree with the process. Kasi you're trying to find
Imperfections.
imperfections or you're trying to find a way to be successful in your own terms
Correct.
na hindi nag-work.
Correct. Alam mo, funny story, I had this guy, I met him, European siya. Tapos, nung nakilala ko siya, kinuwento niya sa akin na isa pala sa mga pinagkakakitaan niya ay porn. So, porn star siya sa Europe. Lalaki siya. Tapos, alam mo, binabash siya. Sinasabi sa kanyang virgin siya. Like, come on. Like, saan pagaling yun? Porn star na nga siya. Tapos, ibabash niyo pa siya na, hindi, virgin ka pa eh. Like, diba? Like, out of nowhere, ang weird eh, no? Like, they just find things, negative things to say para, isa pa yun, I think gusto nila i-crack yung positive energy mo na. Gusto nila makita mag-breakdown ka.
How do you pay it forward? Ngayon successful ka na. You have a very successful business, successful entrepreneur. How do you give back?
First of all, lahat ng immediate na tao sa paligid ko muna. Yun muna, I take care of them. I take care of my people. From family, staff, friends, business partners. So, yun muna, yung immediate na mga tao sa paligid ko. Tapos, then I moved on dun sa mas malaki, greater cause community. Kasi yung power of the internet, ginamit ko eh. Na magsalita ka sa internet, there are chances na hundreds of thousands of people yung makakita. Right? So, that's how I pay it forward. At saka, I teach. Kasi I believe once you mastered something, pwede mo na siyang i-empty sa mind mo eh. How do you empty it? You teach it.
Pasa mo na.
Ipasa mo na. Tapos na ako sa level 1 eh. I don't need that knowledge eh. Right? Paano ko pa magagamit yung knowledge? Kasi sayang eh. Di ba? Stage 1, edi pasa mo. Empty your mind. Pagka empty ko ng 500 gig dyan, o di meron akong free 500 gig ngayon,
Bagong knowledge.
doon na ako sa stage 10.
Yeah.
Pasok ako ng bago. Yung stage 2, pakawalan ko na naman yan. Tapos magagamit lalo na ng youth. Gusto ko magamit ng youth dahil yung youth ang makaka-take advantage talaga ng internet. Pagkapanganak pa lang nila, may internet ni.
Yeah.
Right? So, familiars. Hindi katulad natin, di ba, na ano pa natin yung walang internet. Naglalaro pa tayo sa labas, right? Tapos hindi mo pa alam yung internet, wala ka pang computer, so kailangan dumiskarte ka para sumaya ka, di ba? Unlike ngayon, nandun na lahat sa screen.
Yeah.
So I think, tinake for granted ng youth ang internet. Kaya gusto ko silang turuan ngayon na i-take advantage mo yan. Hindi porke pinanganak ka nandyan na yan, hindi yan mawawala. Right? So, gamitin mo na ngayon as much as you can.
Dude, if you have one advice to give yung mga Filipinos who want to start business either here in Australia or in the Philippines, what's that one advice that you want to give them?
Collect experiences. Experiences teach you. Hindi ko sinabing collect experiences na personal. Pwedeng mag-collect ka rin ng kwento ng experiences ng iba. So, sa tingin ko, ang learning talaga, it comes from people eh. Diba? Lahat ng books na luma, everything na kung saan natuto ang mga tao, galing din sa tao yan eh. Right? So, learn from experiences of others and learn from your experiences as well. So, just move. Hindi pwedeng stagnant. Energy is the currency of the earth. So, spend energy. Collect and spend energy. I think that's the best advice I can give. So, for example, you, parang ang dami mong ginagawa, di ba? I saw your TikTok. You do real estate, nag-gym ka, may agency ka, creative agency ka, may podcast ka. So, the more energy you put out, meaning the more you share. So, once you've shared it, hindi mo matatalo ang universe ng pagbalik sa'yo niyan. The law is, first you give, then you receive. So, ikaw, kahit itigil mo lahat, hindi mo pipigilan yung balik eh. Right? Because what you have built.
Yeah. What's this one advice naman that you received from a mentor, from a friend that you will never forget?
An advice from my father na i-maintain ko yung balance dun sa triangle of life na sinasabi niya, which is health, time, and money. Imagine ikaw yung dot sa gitna ng triangle na yun. So you'd have to stay in the middle. Hindi pwedeng yung oras mo, inuubos mo sa kung saan-saan. Hindi pwedeng yung pera mo, inuubos, yun lang din yung focus mo. Hindi naman pwedeng puro health ka lang. So kailangan ma-maintain mo yung balance. It's all about balancing your life.
Frank, maraming salamat. Thank you. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.